everyone, welcome back to Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. Today it's Tag Tuesday and I'm going to be doing the Atwood Adventure Tag. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name's Alice and I have way too many books. And today I'm going to be doing the Atwood Adventure Tag, seeing as it's Tag Tuesday. Hello Harry. And this is a tag that was created by Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl. If you haven't checked out Jolene's channel, I think she had a whole series talking about reading all of the books of Margaret Atwood, so do check that out. I was tagged by two lovely channels, Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading and AJ at AJ Dunn Reads. Today I'm going to be attempting this tag. My experience of Margaret Atwood is that I haven't really read very many books by her. I read The Handmaid's Tale for AS level English literature, and I also have read the book Cat's Eye, which I really enjoyed. I really want to read her dystopian series that begins with the book Oryx and Crake, but I haven't quite got around to it yet. So yeah, that's my experience with Margaret Atwood. Yeah, luckily I don't need much experience with Margaret Atwood to do this tag. So, question 1 is, before publishing her first collection of poetry in the early 60s, Margaret Atwood had several other jobs, including working at summer camps. What was your first job? So my first job was working in an estate agent's office, and I did this as a summer job when I was 16, and it's actually a job that I ended up going back to after university as well. But when I was first doing it when I was 16, I was mainly filing things, getting house details for people, and that sort of thing. So question 2, while growing up, Margaret Atwood's family spent several months each year living in the bush in northern Ontario. What is a survival skill you have that would help you survive living off the grid? If I had to live in the wild, like extremely in the wild, I don't think I would survive for very long because I don't really have any survival skills. Never really went camping when I was younger, apart from to festivals, so yeah, I don't think I would be great. If it was living off the grid and maybe I could live in like a little cabin or something, probably be alright for a while. I have been known to grow my own vegetables. I'm not particularly amazing at it, but I managed to grow some chilies before, and I've managed to grow some tomatoes and some courgettes, so I might be able to grow my own vegetables if I could find some seeds. Yeah, pretty much my survival skills are limited to what I've learnt from kind of end of the world books and films, so yeah, if a zombie comes, aim for the head. Yeah, don't have a lot of survival skills. I'm not very outdoorsy, I'm afraid. Question 3. Margaret Atwood grew up reading comic books. Do you have a favourite comic book or comic book character? Yes, I do. So I grew up reading The Beano. The Beano is the best. This is a British comic that has, I think, been published since maybe the 50s, might have been earlier than that. Famous for characters such as Dennis the Menace, Minnie the Minx, Roger the Dodger, and my absolute favourite characters in the Beano are the Bash Street Kids. So the Bash Street Kids are class 2B in Bash Street School, and they are basically a hilariously naughty, un-PC group of characters who, yeah, just do silly things all the time, and I absolutely loved that comic strip growing up. So yeah, the Beano is a favourite, and the Bash Street Kids are the top favourite from the Beano. I do have quite a lot of collections of Beano stuff, so I've collected some of the Beano books. I have most of the ones from the 80s, 90s and 2000s. For a while they made some smaller comic books, the Beano Comic Library collection. I do have a complete collection of those, which is very exciting to me because I'm a geek. So, question 4. Margaret Atwood is not only a poet and an author, she's also illustrated books and shown her creativity in many other ways. What are some ways that you are creative? I write a bit. That's my main creative outlet, I'd say, apart from this booktube channel maybe. I crochet, but I don't really make up my own patterns, so I don't know how creative that is. I made this Poirot here, but that was from a pattern. I do enjoy creative activities. I wouldn't say I'm the best at them. I'm not really much of an artist or anything like that, but yeah, I do enjoy a bit of creativity. Question 5. Some of Margaret Atwood's writing is inspired by myths, folk tales and fairy tales. What is your favourite myth, folk tale or fairy tale, and why? I don't really have a favourite fairy tale. I really want to get into more fairy tales, but I feel like I haven't read enough of them in their original form to pick one in particular. I enjoy myths, and Greek myths in particular. One that really stuck with me was Orpheus and Eurydice, which is a very sad myth, so I don't think I'll pick that. I really enjoyed the fairy tales I read recently in Jane Campbell's book. They were brilliant. One of my favourite traditional tales, a folk tale, was a story that we did when we were doing storytelling with Year 1 and Year 2 at when I was teaching. And there was a story called The Papaya Who Spoke. And in The Papaya Who Spoke, the papaya speaks, and it causes all sorts of mayhem and causes people to run away up the hills and down the hills, up the hills and down the hills. And gradually more and more things speak that shouldn't speak, or that people think shouldn't speak. And yeah, it's a brilliant tale for telling orally, and I absolutely loved doing storytelling with children, and that is one that's really stuck in my memory. So if you have time to enjoy a sort of a folk tale, I recommend checking out The Papaya Who Spoke. It might be called The Papaya That Spoke. Right, number 6. Margaret Atwood's most well-known novel is The Handmaid's Tale. What is a task or chore you wish you had a maid or servant for? So many. I really dislike chores, and I'm not very good at getting on and doing housework. So I would say out of all of them, I would probably pick cleaning the bathroom, because it's not my favourite at all. My motivation to do that is just so low. Question 7. The themes Margaret Atwood writes about have stayed consistent in her writing for over 6 decades. She writes about the role of men and women in society, relationships, religion, marriage and identity, to name a few. If Atwood was to write a novel about you, what are some themes she would need to include? Marriage, I think sort of family themes, and cats. Definitely the theme of books and reading, and teaching has been a big part of my life, and also like health has been a big part of my life because of all my medical conditions. So yeah, those would be some themes she would need to include. Margaret Atwood has created words for her novels. This is such a cool question. I absolutely love the idea of creating words. She has talked about how it makes it difficult for translators. Do you have a favourite word, and why? My favourite word is boulevard. Why do I love the word boulevard? Because you hardly ever come across it. I love the word boulevard because of the way it sounds. I just think it's got such an amazing sound to it. So boulevard is my favourite word at the moment. Question 9. Margaret Atwood was born in Canada and lives there now, but she's also lived in other countries like the USA, England, France, Germany and Scotland. What countries have you lived in? And or what is another country you would like to live in? I've only lived here in England, and I've been to a few other countries in the world, but not many. Where would I like to live? To be honest, I'm quite adverse to change. I quite like living in England, but if I was to move somewhere else, it would probably have to be somewhere where it's a little bit hotter than it is here, but not too hot, because I don't love it when it's boiling hot in summer, but I'd like it to be a little bit hotter in the winter. So maybe Spain, I don't know. But yeah, I'm largely very happy living in England. Number 10, Margaret Atwood is an advocate for caring for the earth. What is something you do to take care of our planet? Well, I'd like to do more. Reusing and recycling are things that I try to do a lot of. I think I'm pretty good with recycling. Yeah, I think you can always be better. Reusing, I'm very good at not throwing things away, at thinking that they'll come in. Repurposing, when I was working at preschool or school, repurposing the things for a new purpose in school. And definitely reusing, as in donating and giving, passing things on to, yeah, make sure that they are not just being wasted. Margaret Atwood is passionate about animal rights, and some of her writing has included animals and reflections on them. What is a topic you are passionate about? Books? No, I'm really, really passionate about books and about children's literacy, and I always have been. When I was teaching, this was something I was absolutely passionate about, is making sure that children are getting the opportunities to learn to read. And I truly believe that everyone from every background should be getting opportunities to read, and for reading to be accessible to everybody. So more provision of audiobooks, recognising that children who are reluctant readers can read anything. You know, if it's a comic, don't frown upon that. If it's a comic book, a cereal box, absolutely anything that you can read is reading, and listening to a book is reading. So passionate about books, literacy, reading. Question 12 is, Margaret Atwood is supportive of new authors in a variety of ways. Who is a newer author, and or what debut novel do you wish more people knew about? This question is really, really hard for me because, as you know, I don't read a huge amount of new releases. An author who I really love, who I don't think gets talked about enough, has actually got a novel coming out, I think maybe this year, but could be next year. And he so far has written only non-fiction and short stories. So a debut novel that I'm really looking forward to reading is Tom Cox's debut novel. I think it might be called Villager. I've absolutely loved Tom Cox's nature writing, and he has a very unique, irreverent sort of style, but also writes so beautifully about nature and animals. And I've mentioned him quite a few times on my channel, so yeah, he is someone who I would bring attention to and say that he has got a debut novel coming sometime, maybe this year. I will definitely be reading his debut novel, and if you haven't checked them out yet, I highly recommend his short story collection Help the Witch, and I highly recommend all of his non-fiction, but particularly his books about cats. Oh, did you hear the word cat? Which includes, one of them's called Close Encounters of the Third Kind, one of them's called The Good, the Bad and the Furry. They are so funny. So the last thing left to do is to tag some more booktubers, and I thought today I would tag Nikki from Red Dot Reads, Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes, Art from Bookshelf Odyssey, Ange from Ange's Book Chatter, Emily from Novelle Novels, and Becky from Teacup the Storyteller. Thanks for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed my version of the Atwood Adventure Tag. All of the channels that I've mentioned will be linked in the description box down below. Do go and check them out because they are great channels. If you have enjoyed the video today, please do give it a like. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And next week I hope to make a double tag video because I'm getting so behind on my tags. So thank you if you've tagged me, and I will try my very hardest to get to everything that I've been tagged in. Thanks for watching today. I hope to see you all again soon for another video all about books here on Alice in the Giant Bookshelf. Bye for now.